Hello and welcome to the Gaming Chronicles. Today we will continue Phantasy Star 3 Generations of Doom, and we will be concluding Ain's adventure in his generation. So let's fire it up. Alright, in our previous episode we made it to Techna and we explored Techna Dungeon and we discovered finally the truth about our worlds, at least our party members did. We have been living on a giant spaceship the entire time. And now we have to go to Satellite, also known as Azura, one of the moons, which we find is an artificial moon, of course, which has been a satellite around the spaceship, the world spaceship, or the world's spaceship that we have been living in for so many generations. 1,000 years. Can you imagine that? Anyway, so, by the way, we did upgrade Bren's weapon to a pulse cannon. Now it's a single enemy targeted shot. It's primarily, so we'll primarily be just shooting the back row with him. I kind of got carried away with my exploring, and so Thea, I had enough money to buy a Laconian slicer for her, and we're fully ready. So I could even buy another Laconian claw from you. I think maybe not, but that's all right even if we can't, because we're done with this generation, and we are ready. We're way more than powerful, and aptly equipped to take on Siren, who has been sending the cyborgs forth. All right. So I've talked a little bit about the parallel universe theory that Phantasy Star 3 inevitably hatches among fans of the game. How, well, if Reese chooses to marry If Reese chooses to marry Maya, then what happens with Lena, right? So obviously she has a daughter, Sarai, but who is to say that she didn't have also a son, Niall? And we never see Lena or anybody else for that matter. We see virtually zero Orakians in the entire generation of Ain. So the question is, where did they go? Well, that's where the argument comes into play. They all fled because of the Leyan armies, which attacked Landon. And so Sarai was left behind. Oh man, this stupid flopper. That's right. I forgot that it casts Zan. Oh yeah, that's right. Ouch. Yeah, that hurts. Okay, anyway. So, what I was saying, no. Just attack the flapper, and then we'll just have Thea do that. So anyway, that's the one of the theories, and it's very plausible that that's the case, right? Now, it's a little bit different if you do choose to marry Lena, of course. We will see that shortly. What the actual effects were of... man, that beat us up. What the actual effects of... or the actual consequences, there we go, of marrying Lena were. They're similar enough that we could say, oh yeah, there could be a parallel universe, right? So anyway, that's just something interesting to consider, that whether you pick Lena or Maya, I keep wanting to say you call her Mai, which was what we called her when we were kids, Maya. It could go, you could go either way. You could consider, but anyway, so. The only potential confusion comes when, you try to take that passage from Landon to Aquatica and you meet those soldiers saying, Loon forbids passageway. And you're like, who's Loon? So anyway, just random thoughts. Man, that Laconian Slicer and that, is it the Force Slicer? Can't remember. Man, but Thea just lays waste to that front row. Alright, let's, oh yeah. Bring me the blue birdie bots. This will give us a good if we get a lot of these guys, this will get us a good Meseta bank going into Generation 3. Alright. 2 floppers. Ooh, please let me go before them. Nice. It's funny how just a giant group of floppy disks floating in the air is one of the most dangerous enemies in the 2nd generation for Ain. It's like when Siren came up with that, when he's like, yeah, well, I know what'll get those lands. I'm just gonna create a giant cluster of floating floppy disks. They won't know how to handle that. They'll think they're benign when really they're just gonna zoom around their heads and cut them to pieces. Alright. And here we go, off to Azura. One thing going back to the soldiers, Loon's soldiers in the Land and Aquatica passage. I wonder if we were to speak from a lore perspective, if that was something that Loon had done to try and stem the tide of the cyborgs, right? I mean, obviously, they still got through the well, they would have gotten through the Iridia Aquatica passage, but maybe Loon was able to stop them coming from the Landon Aquatica passage, because that, you know, Landon is the primary, or one of the primary, if not the primary, Orakian world, right? Yep, go ahead and cast that Gyres, because the... anyway, so just that's something interesting to think about, you know. Another way, excuse me, another way that the parallel universe theory could work with Ain and Nile actually coexisting, regardless of who Reese decides to marry. You know, they just never run into each other. Nice. Very good. Trying to remember if there are other besides the 2 moons. So the music for the 2 moons is the same. Does Skyhaven have the same music? I don't remember. Wow, those little pink robot dudes have a lot of health. If Sarai can't kill them in one shot, they've got a lot of health. Oh, by the way, when I was grinding Meseta, she hit level 2! Alright, anybody in the hill? Nah, we're all fine. I redistributed techniques so that... was it, I can't remember now. I think I put Muse, Res. Yeah, I maxed her Res out, and I gave her some emphasis on River, just because you don't ever know if you're going to run into a bad ambush in the basement here. Because once we hit the Azura dungeon, You don't know how bad it can get because the enemies. All right, Sarai's level 3. Yeah, like I said, we will be lucky to see her Sarai get to level 3, and so she does right at the very end here. Anyway, so yeah, the enemies that we're going to be facing in the basement or in the dungeon of Azura are, yeah, they're not found anywhere else. They're very powerful. So I don't know that we'll be healing like every other battle, but we'll be healing quite frequently. Okay, let me get to my map because we will need... Oh, crud. You know what we should have done in our last episode was we should have actually gone to get the chests and then... But no, it's fine. This'll just be a long gallivant throughout the dungeon, is what this'll be. Because this is a big map. Alright, Ren, we're gonna... why do I keep going to technique? Ren, attack the ninja kick lady. Comsat. Their names come up and disappear so fast, it's hard to remember them. And I'm not gonna, and I never pull my monster like index pages out, which I put together a long time ago, but it's like not necessary. Because there's no particular monsters that are so dangerous that it's like, oh, we've got to pay attention, or watch out for them. The few that are that deadly, I remember. And they're all in the 3rd generation. Like, there are no 2nd generation or 1st generation monsters that are... oops. Did I read my map wrong? Yeah. I surprised the monster. Oh, yeah. Nice. A fatale. Huh, interesting. They do, I think they do a lot of damage when they do their little kick at you. And I don't remember what technique they do, but I think that I think they do foy. But anyway, those fatales, they are not kind. You surprised the monster. All right. A force boot. Well, that's fantastic. Who got it? Mew? Huh. We're just gonna... We'll have her hold on to that. Because... we're gonna give it to one of our third generation characters. Since... we could technically give it to Thea or Sarai. But yeah, that's just a waste at this point, and unnecessary, unneeded. I'm digging all these surprise attacks that we're dealing the monster. That is highly pleasing. Let's see. Now, yeah, now we have to go all the way back around to where we came from. Well, at least to here. Let me look what our next route is. 20. Okay, not as bad as I thought. But still a good punch. Okay, let me look at my map. Yeah, we have to go all the way back to the beginning. And then we have to go, let's see, north. No, that's dead end. How do I get there? Okay, I see. A lot of experience. In my head, it seems like this dungeon is more lengthy than the dungeon that you do at the end of Niall's quest. I could be wrong. Let's see. Oh, wait, we passed. We passed it, right? Ah, Zan. I knew it was something that hit everybody. Anyway. Or no, I was thinking it was Foy. Let's throw a heal on... Let's throw a heal on everybody. Look at 24. That is crazy. And then let's throw a res on Ran. Just for good measure. Man, Sarai is so powerful. Every time I look at her profile, it's just like, man, you could just take everything on by yourself. Is it the second one or? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We needed to take the not this one, but this one, and then go. Hold on. Yeah, we go all the way until we come to a broken tile. Broken floor tile. Can you imagine actually walking on this? Like, this is like the most unstable floor. I would be scared to death. Like, oh my goodness, I'm not so much scared of the cyborgs as I'm scared of the floor collapsing underneath us and us falling to our deaths. Alright, then we come all the way up, right? Yeah, all the way up until we can't go up anymore. The pathway is actually very simple. There are only a few turns, and there's just all the stuff in between that tries to confuse you. So we go all... let's see. 1, 2. Wait a minute. There. We can go 2 ways. Yeah, we can go 2 ways. Wow, 2,222 experience points. Yeah, we'll just go all the way to the end here, like I'm used to doing. There are 2 viable ways though. And then we just go down, and then turn here. Force bandana. I think that Leah equips bandanas, right? Yeah. So we went all that way just for like 3 defense. It's alright though. Okay, so I think that we only go back part way, right? Yeah, once we can go down, we do so. And we are on our approach to the big boss man, who's been sending cyborgs all over the world. Another theory that people have about why Ain doesn't meet any of the Reikians is maybe not necessarily that Loon has chased them all away with his Layan monsters. Oh look, it looks just like Ren. But rather that Reikio, let's see, we're good. What's this guy's name? Siren. So you found me after all, rabble. He calls us rabble, that's funny. Who uses that word? Seems that a few raps escape my... Wow! He has total disregard for Layan life. I once served a Reikio, but Leia forced me here. Well, that's because you were malfunctioning, bro. Yeah, Leia's gonna put a malfunctioning, extremely powerful cyborg that obviously has some kind, obviously Siren has some kind of protocol command over all of the other cyborgs. So, yeah, you were put here for the safety of everybody. You haven't just made the Leians' lives endangered, but you've made the Orakians' lives miserable. Then she somehow moved the satellite far away. Yes, she did. Oh, let's talk about that for a second. So, so Leia was the one who would have, well, might not have been Leia herself. It could have been Ren, right? We talked about how Ren and Mew. I've waited 1,000 years for my revenge. Man, Siren's got a big chip on his shoulder. Holy crap. We'll have Ren just focus on that, and I don't think that anybody else can hit the back row yet. Yeah, I think only, well, we'll have Thea focus on the front row. Or I should say, I don't want Thea to necessarily focus on the back row when we needed her to focus on the back. Let's make double sure that Ren is aiming at Siren. Kind of looks goofy. But anyway, so yeah, Siren was put here, allegedly by Leia, because yeah, he was a danger to everybody. So let's do it. Took care of the heal bots. Yeah, Siren loves to spam 2 at us. These little guys aren't much of a threat. And anyway, so Siren mentioned that that Leia moved the moons away. Well, yeah. Let's go ahead and do one more round. It'll take us a couple rounds to take out Siren. I can't remember how much health he has. Let's see. Let's just do a quick Gyres. And so, yeah, so Siren was put on Azura, and of course, if we think about Niall's adventure, Lune was put on, oh crap, Dahlia, for the safety of everybody, not just for the opposing peoples, because they both went crazy with the, hatred and malice and, bad feelings. Oh, come on, Ain, where are you? So anyway, Mew, we'll have you just res your, Mew, res yourself. So with the 2 gems, it would have had to have been, Orekio and Leia together, or maybe just Ren. It doesn't matter exactly. It doesn't matter who exactly did it, but what matters is that the moons were moved away, so that Siren and Lune couldn't attack anymore. You have won but a single battle, Ain. And he's still ticked off. The war is not over yet. I will return one day. Siren disappears. Thus did Prince Ain fulfill his destiny. Rejoicing, his people moved to the satellite. King Rhys decreed that Ain should marry soon. 2 women made known their interest in him. Hopefully Ain wasn't as dense as his dad. It's kind of interesting, the difference between when Siren is defeated and when Lune is defeated, though. There's a very distinct difference. Alright, so here we go. Thea and Sarai. It's obvious that Thea would want to marry us. If I were Anna, like, Sarai, you want to marry me? Really? You hated my guts when I first met you. Alright, we're going to make a save state. Right here. So, save slot 3. Yes. And so now what we will do is we're going to go back to Lena, the choice between Lena and May I? Oh my goodness, Maya. And we are now going to say, what if Reese chose Lena instead of Niall? Or, wow, Lena instead of Maya. Maya. Can't say the name to save my life. I promise I went to school for linguistics. Anyway, and then once Niall's adventure is complete, we will come back here and we will play the generations, the third generations, starting with Ainge's children, and so on and so forth. So, until our next episode, where we go all the way back to Reese's choice, Prince Reese's choice of who he wants to marry, and we will continue with Prince Niall. So long for now.